Good morning. Let's have a look at yesterday. It's a bit too early in the season, really, to have a strong opinion pre-match, but a good result for Celta Vigo, missing a penalty as well. So I wonder if Valencia are going to have another one of those seasons. Racing Santander at Eibar, no strong opinion. Pre-match favourite, 2.1. We only got a couple of over 2.5 goals in the Eerste Divisie. Ossen Cambuur, second half goal.
This market is now in play.
Not its usual goal fest yesterday, but this is what you normally expect both teams to score. Leverkusen ticking all the boxes again. So I think moving forward, we should be expecting at least a goal before half time. So watch out for that and factor that in to your trading plan. With every Leverkusen game, we're expecting at least 2 goals from Leverkusen as well. And if they are in trouble, I told you yesterday, they tend to do it late. What a pity I wasn't up for this one. I mentioned in yesterday's preview video about all of those 90th minute plus equalisers and winners for Leverkusen. So I think you've got a blueprint now for the rest of the season, haven't you? Quite outstanding. He even missed the penalties, probably the follow-up from Florian Wirtz. Superb. Goals before half-time, at least 2 goals, possibility of both teams to score. And if
market has been suspended,
if they're drawing or losing late on, trust them. Wow. That's your blueprint right there for the rest of the season for Bayer Leverkusen. Probably going to be doing that 90-minute stuff more away from home than at home. So look out for that pattern as well. Irish Premier Division, I would have been focusing on Cork City, I think, with a 0-0 at half-time and the red card. So it's, Ronan Keating from Boyzone getting the late winner there. He's not just a pretty face. Nothing much else doing, really. Shelbourne and Bowes, I would have expected Shelbourne, if conceding first, to have equalised, which indeed they did very, very quickly. So unlikely you'd have engineered a trade there. Looking at the opening match of the season, you'd have been favouring the Yellow Submarine. Very impressive against, I think it was Atletico Madrid with that 2-2, scoring 2 goals as well. Sevilla, poor really against Las Palmas, who were newly promoted a couple of seasons back. Could be another troubling season for Sevilla, this one. They're not a side I want to be trusting wholeheartedly. Did Deportivo La Coruña equalise before going down? Indeed they did. I think based on what happened in their previous match where they absolutely bossed the stats, I think going for an equaliser here, particularly with the first goal being a penalty, would have been very good. Had I been doing a live chat, I think I would have selected that one for sure. Don't forget, Premier League 2, over 2.5 goals. Look at this. And this was a 0-0 at half-time. So have a think. Those of you who like over 2.5 goals, you've got a really good example of where you can sniff out matches. Reputation, single teams, specific leagues, and now we've got specific leagues again. So watch out for that. Premier League 2, absolutely chock full of goals. Really is. Now we need to formulate a blueprint because we didn't get any goals before half-time, Wolves and Arsenal. What would you have done had you backed over 2.5 goals pre-match or after the first 10 or 15 minutes? What would you have done? Would you have waited 60 minutes? Or would you be waiting 70 minutes? Had you been waiting 70 minutes, you'd be okay. It's difficult. That's the problem I have with this kind of trading. It's not reactive. My trading, you're reacting to what's actually going on rather than preempting Goalfest. Bundesliga 2, well, you get some disappointment from Hamburg. Sloppy. Karlsruhe deserved the win. Was it 2-2? Indeed it was. There's a possibility of laying that 2-2. Certainly odds-on favourites Karlsruhe pre-match. 2-2 here with this one. And a red card thrown in. No, it was 3-1 and then 3-2. So that's not a Desmond. AGF Aarhus, another side like Odense to be looking out for in Denmark. Premier League 2. Overs, nearly and nearly. Did we get any goals before half time? No, we didn't. So again, this is another one of those. How do we play this? You've got to have an out. But then if you do have an out, as you can see, we're very close to 2 to 3 goals there. So difficult. French Ligue 2. Newly promoted Martigues did win. Fantastic stuff. But you could have possibly looked for an equaliser after this goal here. Well, not an equaliser, but coming back. So good stuff. And again, getting the equaliser after conceding first for Annecy. Despite the final result, it's what happens in play for a trading that creates the profits. Paris Saint-Germain, absolutely dominant. Gonçalves Ramos, anybody? Let's have a look. Barcola, Asensio, Hakimi, Zaire Emery, Lee Kang-in. So no sign of the new Benfica star yet. They didn't need him, it seems. Was he on the bench? No. Must be waiting in the wings. There he's got an ankle injury. Okay, fair enough. But this was emphatic stuff. Who needs Kylian Mbappe? Leeds United, you've seen a sudden shift from Leeds United, haven't you? Conceding 3 goals in 2 consecutive matches to suddenly 2 consecutive clean sheets. No coincidence. Watch out for this. We see teams tend to overreact if they're conceding defensively. Cleaned it up and off we go. It does also show you that Sheffield Wednesday could be vulnerable this season, and it also shows you that Plymouth could be very vulnerable. If they're losing 4-0 to Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds are beating Sheffield Wednesday 0-2, then Plymouth are going to be struggling against a whole host of sides. Farenza and Sporting Lisbon, 1.18. You know the drill. 20-minute rule. You'd have cleaned up there. And 0-3, 1-3, any other away score. Good stuff from Sporting. That's what we want from a 1.18 shot. So plenty of over 2.5 goal lessons from you. Let's just go through them again. 1. Potential overs by league. Potential overs by a specific team. So that could be one you latch onto. Man City, for example. The top 3 scoring teams, you can get the stats at soccerstats.com for the top 3 scoring teams in each league if you want to follow them. Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal last season. No coincidence where they finished. And we've also got over 2.5 goals, again, by league. So have a think. Can you formulate yourself a strategy? And again, by team, Aarhus or Odense, and again by league, reputation for overs in this league. Only 2 of them went astray, and you wouldn't have been able to trade out of those. So lots of examples of over 2.5 goals, again by team and by odds. This is another one to add to your bow. Getting over 2.5 goal plays by odds. Anything short, you're expecting 3+ goals. Looking on to today, and as you know, we're very, very early into the season. We've only got the one early kick-off. I'm just going to change that time, so we do it by league. And let's have a look. 12:30, Brighton and Manchester United. Again, difficult to unpack. An away match for Man U, very, very tough to call. 2.63 the favourite, 2.45 the favourite. Take the hint. Yet another London derby. New manager for West Ham. Crystal Palace, absolutely full of goals. Very unlucky to lose their opener. It went to 1-1 against Brentford, and then Brentford got the second goal. But so watch out for Crystal Palace. They are missing Olise, but if they can get back to what the manager was doing at the back end of last season, they will be simply outscoring their fellow sides. The research has gone for strong both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. on this particular London derby. But don't forget, it is a London derby. Anything can happen. You saw that last week with Crystal Palace and Brentford. Fulham and Leicester, tough to call really, but the market's gone against the Championship side who've newly promoted, Leicester City. Again, odds equal goals. We're expecting goals before half-time in this particular encounter. Ipswich kept it 0-0 in the first match and then conceded 2 second-half goals. That's probably the expectation if they keep it to 0-0 again. They're likely to have 10 at the back here, unlikely to have any of the ball, and it's going to be one of those matter-of-time matches. Good match for Bernardo to potentially get on a score sheet again. Southampton and Forest, again, 2.45 the favourite. Very, very tough to call. Spuds, very strong favourites against Everton. It's just going to be a year of struggle for Everton. Opening match 1-1 against Leicester City, so Tottenham yet to win. And Everton outdone by Brighton in their opener. So concerns defensively for Everton. Now they're away from home. And Tottenham as well. Watch out for team news for Tottenham. They might be missing some key strikers. Arsenal and Villa. Well, this is a big respect to Aston Villa that Arsenal are not extremely short odds-on favourites. We could see both teams to score here today. Aston Villa home matches were absolute goal fests under Dick Emery last season. Welcome to the German Bundesliga. That will be the start of our live chat today, 2:30 p.m. at YouTube. Full details in the research. Members only today. Augsburg and Werder Bremen, no strong opinion. Ditto, Freiburg and Stuttgart. The Hoff, expect a goal before half-time. Another one of those, probably good for over 2.5 goals, Hoffenheim. Because we do expect goals before half-time with them. So that would be one to stick on your notebook for you over 2.5 goal fans. Mainz and Union Berlin looks very well matched. Leipzig and Bochum. Well, Leipzig again priced to score 2 or 3 goals and to score before half-time. Dortmund and Frankfurt. Again, a lot of respect for Frankfurt. The Dortmund, like Aston Villa, have been kept at 1.73 odds only. You see that here. You see that here. It's just suggesting they are favoured, but it's going to be a tougher match than they'll expect. Moving on down, Italian Serie A returns as well. Parma, newly promoted, are playing another big gun in AC Milan. Must win AC Milan. Got to target this for a win. Inter Milan dropped 2 points in their opener. This is a must win, and it's probably going to be a win. Otherwise, they're going to be already behind in the title race. So those would be the two that I would focus on. Always look for your angles. Look to the previous match when it was a match you were leading 2-1 for such a long time, and you get done. This could be the difference in winning the title or not. That late concession. They must put it right tonight. It's a simple must win. Home advantage. So really a good match to target, that one. In the Eredivisie, NEC Nijmegen favourites against PEC Zwolle, who came up last season. PSV were excellent in their opener. And again, this is one of those for you over 2.5 goal merchants. 3+ goals expected of PSV today. 1.18 odds. Eerste Divisie. Well, let's see if that's over 2.5 goals. Romanian 1 League. Well, Sepsi, odds-on favourites, have been involved in Europe as well. Keep an eye on them at 5 o'clock, no problem. Osasuna were pretty good in their opener, but 2.45 the favourite is a toughie. Mallorca will be doing all of their best to work at home, keeping Real Madrid very quiet in their opener. So that's their defensive strength. But Mallorca, I tend to think they pick up points at home. They had a pattern last season of winning at home, losing away. Is that going to continue this season? Barcelona, I think for me, far too short against Atletico Bilbao. 1.65. But we will see if the market's right or not. And the other two matches are a little too early in the season to have a strong opinion. Don't forget La Liga 2, well worth following. Malaga and Sporting Gijón are the odds-on favourites there. Malmo must win against Kalmar. They've been a bit up and down because they've been involved in Europe. That's another good one to watch at 2 o'clock, just before the start of the German Bundesliga. Eyüpspor, Turkish Yorkshiremen, getting the win in their opener. They'll be delighted with that. Newly promoted. Galatasaray has been postponed. And those are the main leagues. Those are the main leagues today. These are the ones down at the bottom. Let's have a look. No, this is all yesterday. Okay. Those are the main leagues. We've got a whole host of other leagues to add to the roster today. As you know, alphabetical order likely to be starting with the Austrian Bundesliga somewhere. Yeah, Red Bull Salzburg being postponed, likely because they're involved in Europe. Tough coupon, but Sturm Graz odds on today, and I tend to star my odds ons, anything under 1.99. Work your way down. B, Belgium, likely next. Jupiler League, a couple of postponements again. Is that down to Europe? Antwerp, very strong favourites against Red Yellow Mechelen. Should be getting a result there. 7.45 for that one. C, likely to be Croatia next. The Croatian HNL1 League. We work our way down. So we've got Dinamo Zagreb at home. Again, another potential banker. And again, another one to target goals. You could even go over 3.5 goals if the odds are good enough. And if there's a delay in the scoring of the first goal. We've got our usual suspects. Sparta Prague, very reliable so far this season, coming from behind and getting their wins. That's the standout in the Czech 1 League. Lots more familiar names and hopefully reliables. Midtjylland, odds on at home, tend to deliver. Danish First Division is well worth your attention as well. We've got Esbjerg and Kolding, odds on favourites at home. That's the configuration I like to see. Makes your life a lot easier, doesn't it? Now we're into English territory. Championship today. Again, it's a watching brief from me. I can't give you any pre-match research. Middlesbrough, Blackburn, QPR, odds on favourites at home. Millwall have been doing a good job in scoring after conceding, but they've not really been rewarded for it yet. I would watch out for Millwall, particularly if Hull score first. If you look at Millwall's recent matches, they have put up a battling performance in the Championship, but they're being caught out by that extra goal. So, again, the early pattern is over 2.5 goals. For those of you who want to follow, over 2.5 goals. Again, this is another by team. So we've got by league, by odds, by team. This is a by team one, isn't it? The opening two matches. Likely to be a both teams to score match, with it being a 1 goal in it affair. And Millwall would be very, very unlucky. And watch out for an overreaction defensively. Like Leeds, Millwall conceding far too many goals. Might they suddenly sharpen up that defence today while not impacting upon their centre forwards? League One. Barnsley, Stockport, the odds on favourites at home. Huddersfield as well against the Shrews, who look to be the whipping boys this season, it seems. Again, I'll be following these via the in-play stats this early season. Chesterfield, strong favourites against Salford, lost to Plymouth in the Cup, I think midweek. Doncaster odds on at home, as well as is MK Dons and Bradford City. Again, in-play stats will light up any plays there. Well, its reputation has been brilliant so far, the English Premier League 2. Is it going to continue producing over 2.5 goals? We've got early kickoffs, so we can I can experiment at least with 1 or 2 of these matches, see if we can get an entry and exit point sorted out. What are we going to do? Are we going to get out at a certain point? Finnish Viscountleague might be worth following. Ilves, very strong favourites against newly promoted Ekenes. You saw them last week. Was it them or Gniston? Concede second half goals consistently. They might keep it tight in the first half. That will be a good pattern against Ekenes at 3 o'clock in the Finnish Viscountleague. French League 1. Lille involved in Europe. Saint-Etienne and Le Havre, newly promoted Saint-Etienne. Great to see them back in the top flight. Are they going to be vulnerable? Well, they're odds on at home. This one's too tough to call. Almost like a derby-style match. Lyon and Monaco. Lorient, odds on against Grenoble. Could be worth following as well. Bundesliga 2 tends to be the first league of interest on a Saturday. Hertha Berlin, they've got to start winning. They should be a Bundesliga side, this lot. FC Köln, newly relegated, I believe. And odds on favourites at home to Braunschweig, so that could be another one to target. Great to see the Greek Super League back last week. The big guns could have produced a trade or two. AEK Athens very strong favourites today at home against Lamia. Don't forget the potential for goals when you see short odds. Israeli Liga Ha'al can sometimes be relied upon with the likes of Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Beersheva, but we've got Maccabi Haifa, again, another strong favourite. Ironi Tiberias played all hail to the ale. Hapoel Beersheva in the cup recently and won 2-3, despite it being a successful trade because the beer did equalise. Italian Serie B is worth following this season. Bit early for me to have any strong opinions. Sampdoria, though, must do something to get back into the Serie A. What a fall for such a massive club. It'd be very disappointing. Sassuolo, newly relegated. Are they going to be dominating in this lesser league? We will see. Salernitana as well, I think, newly relegated. We can confirm that using the head-to-heads. And again, they're not really fancy today if they are newly relegated. So head-to-heads, you can go backwards.
This market has been suspended.
And you can see they were in Serie A last season. But the market's not expecting them to dominate this league, at least away from home against Sud Tirol, are they? But a side worth following, Sassuolo, Salernitana. Are they going to be better in this lesser league? Can they go straight back up? And the favourite teams keep returning. Bodo Glimt should be strong fancies against Salzburg with home advantage. Vålerenga as well, 1.38 favourites in Norway. All going to join the roster at 3 o'clock. La Liga Portugal, well, a lot of catching up to be done by Benfica, who lost their opener, won their second. Porto, odds on. Famalicão could be a side worth following. They're the side who beat Benfica. Odds on today. Having a good start to the season, beating Benfica and Estrela without conceding. New manager, perhaps? Could be one to latch onto, particularly odds on at home as well today at 8:30. Watch out for Famalicão. Only one of the old firm out today, Rangers. And in the Championship, potentially tradable, but in last week's live chat, I relied on the in-play stats and Clyde in Scottish League 2, and they burned us completely. So it's a very gentle reminder to you. The lower the leagues you go, the less reliable these teams become. This Clyde side were absolutely all over Sterling. If you had a stats feed, you'll see that. And that's going into these lesser leagues. It can really cost you. So just be careful with the lower tiers in Scotland. Yes, the SPL's okay, but watch out. Scottish League 1, Scottish League 2, it's that reliability problem. So that's about it today. Very busy. Don't forget the Swiss Super League as well. We've got Luzern odds on favourites at home at 5. Turkish 1 League, just go on the back burner with that one. So live chat webinar for members of footballtradingprofits.com at 2:30 p.m. Full details at the website for you. So I hope you can attend. Let's see if we can make some green screens and welcome back the German Bundesliga. For those of you looking at over 2.5 goals, it is a hell of a good league for goals, the Bundesliga. Have a great day, and I will see you members for a live chat at 2:30 and earlier on Telegram, probably from midday onwards with the German Bundesliga as well. Have a great Saturday.